Brokenness podcast, where we dissect problems and solutions that exist among broken people living in a broken world. And we also believe here at Healing Our Brokenness podcast that talking through our stories is the path that leads to walking through our healing. On yesterday, I was graced with the blessing of interviewing mindset coach Eston Swaby. Eston and I got a chance to talk about some of everything: his profession, how he came to be in the ministry, what brokenness means to him. He shared his story, how community plays a role in healing our brokenness, how healed and unhealed brokenness affects writing and speaking, what the word home means to him. And then we got a chance to do some fun personal questions. And a lot of what we talked about centered around identity, validation, approval, and rejection. And so without further ado, I am going to let you tune in to the interview between Eston Swaby and I.
There was a son. He was devoured by earth. There was a God. They call him the Father. And there was a means to make a valley with grace out of this hole that I've dug for me. He made a valley of grace where things would change, and maybe they take up the cross high again. The valley of grace was never the same.
Okay, so ministry-wise, I teach Sunday school at church, and I'm also the youth president for the youth department. I'm also a minister, so I preach sometimes, and I do a lot of teaching Bible study. I'm professional. I work with Christian entrepreneurs who in the marketplace, but they want to make a big impact, sharing their message, sharing their gift, but because of fears and limited beliefs, they're holding themselves back. They're afraid of asking for what they want and really putting themselves out there.
And if you don't mind me asking, what are some of those limited beliefs?
Okay, so limited beliefs like I am not good enough, I'm not worthy, no one is not going to want to work with me or buy from me. Money is the root of all evil. If I make a lot of money, then I cannot be spiritual at the same time. And money is bad. And so some of those limited beliefs that really hold them back from really becoming that person that God has called them to be in the marketplace. I think the biggest one is that they believe that they are not worthy and they're not good enough.
Put yourself out there, right?
Yeah, and you won't ask for what you want. Because you are in business to make you're in business to make money, you're in business to make an impact. And so a part of that is to really put yourself out there and ask for what you want.
That makes sense. Yeah. So if you think about the word brokenness, what does that mean to you?
Brokenness. That means that a part of yourself, a part of your true self, has been shattered, um, maybe because of your past experiences. So you lost that part of you or part of yourself due to traumatic experiences.
Gotcha.
So so that stops you from really becoming your true and powerful self.
That is true. Now, would you please share with the audience your story?
Okay, so growing up, I was I was rejected a lot. I've been through a lot of rejection. Being told that I wasn't good enough, I wasn't important, that no one's not going to love me, um, and because of the rejection that I've been through, because of people telling me that I wasn't good enough, that I wasn't deserving, that no one is not going to love me, then I couldn't achieve my goals. I had a lot of self-hate. So for many years, I didn't love myself because I thought that there was something wrong with me. What and there was a time that I wanted I said to myself, you know what? It doesn't. My life doesn't matter. My life is not important. My life is not significant. I have no value. So might as well I just stay my own life. So there was a time I wanted to commit suicide because when I look in the mirror, all I saw was brokenness. When I look in the mirror, all I saw was someone that wasn't deserving, that wasn't good enough, that no one loves. So what's the purpose of me being alive? What's the purpose of me living to see another day?
Mm.
Yeah. So and that helped me back from really um, putting myself out there. That held me back from really asking for what I want, and because of that feeling that I wasn't good enough, I sought I wanted people to validate me. So I sought validation from other people, from outside sources, instead of really looking internally and validating myself, and really looking to also to God, who did He say that I am, or who does He say I am, right? And
Right.
so if people if people didn't approve me, then I didn't approve myself. If people didn't accept me, then I didn't accept myself, because my self-worth was based on other people's opinion of me. And the more they reject me, then it was the more that I rejected myself.
It
So
was
that a
like a
part of my
domino
story.
effect.
Yes, exactly. And when God called me to ministry, um, I thought that I thought that God must be crazy, because there's no way that God could call me to ministry. There's no way
Mm.
that God could look at a mess like me, a broken person like me, and have any purpose from it and call me into ministry. So for a time, sometimes we are in the position, but we're not acting as if we're not behaving in a way that is in alignment with that position. And so for many years, I was sitting in a position of ministry. I was in ministry, but then I wasn't behaving in a way that was in alignment with that ministry. And God can, if God promotes you to a position and not acting in that position, then you are going to sabotage yourself.
Yes.
You're, you're always going to play smaller than you are supposed to be playing.
That
And
makes
even
sense.
when I started, and even when I started my business, that was the same thing. I wanted success. I wanted, but at the same time, I never thought that I was deserving or I was good enough. And it all came back down to my past experiences of dealing with rejection, dealing with self.
How were you able to come out of that with your business?
Yes, I was able to come out of that by really diving into the Word of God, and to who He say I am, and to really accept His love, and to really know that I am good enough because He says that I'm good enough. I'm not good enough because people say I am good enough. I'm not good enough because of my successes, but I am good enough because God says I am good enough.
Amen. That is so true. Why do you think that people stay in their brokenness for so long?
Because there's something that we are looking for. There's a need that has not been met. There are 5 basic needs: the need for security, the need for significance, for safety, and so forth. And one of those needs hasn't been met because we're always seeking to fulfill a basic need that we have. Right? The man that go out and kill someone is because there is a basic need that he's trying to meet, but he's meeting it the wrong way. So a person that stays in brokenness is because there's a need that they are trying to fulfill, that they believe that the other way for them to meet that need is for them to behave in a particular way because their mind has been programmed to think in a certain way.
Got you. So it's all according to, and how, like you said, as far as the mind being programmed to think a certain way, and once we have those thoughts in our heads, then we start to act on it. Would you say that's how it works out?
Yes, that's exactly how it works out, because everything starts with a thought, right? Something happens, right? Maybe let's say, for example, you go out on the road and someone rejects you, right? Then that creates a thought. Then you start thinking about it. Then maybe you experience another rejection. Then maybe when that first rejected, you feel, okay, maybe I'm not good enough. Then because then you go out there and you experience something similar. So then you start saying, okay, maybe I'm really not good enough. And then because that cycle keep repeating, then that belief that you're not good enough, it's like that. Yeah, so that's how it started. So everything starts with a thought. Then that thought creates forms that emotion. Then that emotion, a belief. Then that belief creates a behavior, and just keep repeating.
That makes sense. Yes.
That makes sense. Yes.
And then we internalize those thoughts. We internalize what other people say.
We internalize what people say.
Exactly. And because the reason why we internalize what people say is because deep down inside, we believe that we are not good enough. We are not worthy. So then because if you have a strong belief in yourself, right? If you really deep down believe that you are good enough, that you are deserving, that it doesn't matter what someone else says or think about you, right? You're going to brush it off. Just for example, if I say to you that your hair is red, right? Mm-hmm. Then that is not going to affect you, right? Because you know that your hair is not red.
Right.
Right? Mm-hmm. So it's because of a belief that we already have about ourselves. That is why people's opinion of us really affects us.
That makes sense. Yes, that makes sense. It makes me think about as a teenager, when my self-esteem was low, and I already had thoughts about myself. And then when I heard another teenage girl outside the church saying something, then I internalized it. I said, oh, this must be true. You see what I'm saying?
Yes. That's exactly how it works. And then that is why we have to stop the cycle. And how we can stop the cycle is really going back to our identity. right?
Yes.
Who are we deep down inside, right? Because a child knows that he is already good enough. A child already knows that he's already worthy, right? A child will never tell you, hey, don't feel me because I'm not good enough or I'm not worthy. A child will never tell you, hey, do not feel me or do not pick me up because I messed myself up,
Right.
right?
Right.
Because that child knows that it doesn't matter what mistakes the child made or what the child does. The child knows that he is already good enough and worthy and deserving. So the child is going to behave in that way. So it doesn't matter what you say, that child is still going to cry and want you to pick him or she up. But
True.
then as we go along, as we grow older, then maybe something happens, right? Maybe someone rejects you. Maybe it's a
Yes.
caregiver. Maybe it's someone sympathizing. And that then become because of the emotion that we attach to that event that then creates a belief, and then different events start confirming that belief. But if we go back to our original belief that we are worthy, that we are good enough, if we stop the cycle right and reclaim our true self, then we are going to be able to heal our brokenness. We are going to heal our pain. We are going to heal those emotional wounds. And then we are going to achieve the level of success and the love and the joy and the peace, everything that we want.
Yes, that is so true. Man, that is some good stuff. So how do you think community plays a role in healing brokenness? And then the second part of that question is, how did it play a role in healing your brokenness?
Okay, so community are the people that we surround ourselves is very important. If every day you surround yourself with people that confirms your brokenness, because as human beings we are drawn to people with similar beliefs, right? So
Right.
for example, the reason why you maybe go to the church that you go to is because they have a similar belief to yours, right?
Right.
So people that are broken, they attract other broken people, right?
That's true.
People that are negative attracts other negative people. So if
True.
you can break that and say, okay, mm, I I believe that I'm not good enough, that I'm not worthy of success. If you can start surrounding yourself with people that believe that you are worthy, that you are good enough, that speaks life into your spirit. Because many of us, we surround ourselves with people that every day they speak death into our spirit. They tell us that we are not good enough, that we are not worthy, that we cannot do anything right. But if we can seek out people that believe in us, even when we don't believe in ourselves, people that sees greatness inside of us when even we don't see it in ourselves, then they are going to speak it into us, and then eventually we are going to start believing it,
That
right?
is true. Mm-hmm.
And that is the same thing that happens with me, because I started to hang around people that told me that I was good enough, that didn't treat me as the people that I was surrounding myself with,
Mm-hmm.
right? People
Right.
as people that told me that okay, I could achieve my goals, that I could become anything that I want to become. But I started surrounding myself that were people that were playing at a different level, or playing a different ball game than I was playing. And I was attracted to that. I was attracted to the energy. I was attracted to the success that they were creating, and I wanted to be like them. So I started surrounding myself. I started listening to them, right? And then eventually, what they were saying, I started to say, okay, what if I started to believe that? What if I
Mm.
started to believe that I was good enough? What if I started to believe that I could achieve my goals, that I could achieve my dreams, right? And then that switch in my mindset started to produce a different result. And so it's so you are, there's a saying that you are the average of the 5 people that you hang around with. Because, all right, why is it that children behave in a similar way to their parents? Right? It's because of proximity, because of being around them for so every day. So they started to adopt those behaviors, start to adopt those traits similar to them.
Yes,
so
and I've
if
heard
you
that
can
saying about the 5 people. I've heard that. It's powerful, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's really powerful and so true.
Mm-hmm.
Because unconsciously we are going to start modeling their behavior. We're going to start speaking the way they speak. We're going to start acting the way they act. We are going to start believing the things that they believe. Unless you have a deep internal belief that contradicts that, right? And you have this resilience, this muscles that then you're not going to adapt it. But if you allow yourself to be shaped by your environment, then your environment is going to shape you.
That is so true. Man, that is so true. How do you think both healed and unhealed brokenness affects writing and speaking?
Is your writing and your speaking they are a reflection of who you are. Right? You write the way that you write, you speak the way that you speak because of who you are. So if you are, let's say for example, if you are writing a personal development book, a self-help book, right?
Yes.
And you haven't healed from your mess, you haven't healed from your story, maybe from rejection, then maybe certain things that you're going to say that is going to have an angry tone or aggressive tone to it.
Right.
Because you're writing from a place of brokenness. You're not writing from a place of love, of I don't know, but so your writing and how you speak, they are a reflection of what's happening internally.
Right.
And I've seen that personally in my own writing. I remember there was something I was writing and I noticed that, wow, this sounds very aggressive. And then I realized that it was because I didn't heal from that. I didn't let go of what some people did to me. And so until I released those people, then I was able to really write from a place of love.
Gotcha.
So everything is a reflection. Our behavior, everything that we do, say, think, is a reflection of what is happening internally.
That is so true. That is so true. Yes. Yes, that is so true. Now we got another question that I always ask every guest, and that is, what does the word home mean to you?
Home. Well, when you look at brokenness, home means coming back to your true self. Your home is physically, your home is a place that you go to for comfort. It's a place of safety.
Yes.
And so coming home, then it's coming back to that internal place where you feel safe, where a place of comfort, where it's a place where you just feel safe and a place of comfort where you feel protected.
Wow, that is so true. Were you going to say something else? I'm sorry.
No, and if you really, when you heal your brokenness, then you come home to your true self,
Yes, that is so true.
to your
Yep.
true
And
potential.
and then you're able to put that authenticity in your writing and your speaking, whatever it is we're doing, you know, when we're in our true selves. Have you found that to be
Yes,
the
then
case?
everything that you produce, yes, that is so true. And everything that you produce, you're able to produce it from a place of love and not a place of resentment, frustration, guilt, fear. Because when you are driven, for example, when fear drives your behavior, then, um, for example, in business, right, a lot of people are driven by fear. And so when they're driven by fear, they think that they always have to be getting out there. So they get stuck in the hustle and grind mentality. Because they believe that they think that if I'm not doing that, then I'm not going to produce, or if I'm not bringing in a lot, if I'm not making a lot of money, then I'm going to be rejected, then no one will like, right?
Yes.
They're not doing it from a place of love of, okay, I'm doing this because I want to make a big impact. I'm doing this because I want to help people to get a certain results.
Yes. I see what you're saying. It's so focused on either like the material aspect, you know, being prominent, the money, the wealth, and not doing it because it's what God has planned for your life, regardless of if it's going to bring about a lot of money, a lot of fame, you have a lot of social media followers. That's not the goal.
Yeah, exactly. And you see, when you do things, everything that you do from a place of love, of, this is what God has called me to do, then the money, the likes, everything that you want will come as a byproduct, and then you'll be able to enjoy it more.
So true. Yeah, so true. I got some fun questions for you to answer. What are some of the books that you are reading now?
Okay, I'm reading a book by, um uh what's her name? Joyce Meyer, Seven Steps. Oh, I totally forgot the name of the book. I'm just reading the book. I totally forgot the name of it. So that's the book that I'm reading right now. I recently read the 5 a.m. Club. Um, yeah, so those books.
Mm. Yeah, Joyce Meyer has some
Oh,
good
and
stuff.
yeah, and one by Crystal Day, Dear Insecurity.
Yes, she has some good stuff too, doesn't she? Yes, Crystal Day,
Yes,
she has some good stuff.
yeah, I love
And
that book. It's a very
yes, it's
powerful
good.
book.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's really good. Okay, and name some of the songs that are on your playlist now.
Okay. To worship you, I live. I give myself away. Um, I surrender. Yeah.
Yes. Cool. Oh, wow. Those are all good songs. And what are some of the things that you do to fill up your soul?
I read books. I watch videos, motivational videos. Um, and I'm also reading the Bible and hanging around people that are positive, people that uplift me, people that do not hold me hostage to my history, but hold me accountable to the person that God has called me to become. Yeah, so those are some of the things that I do.
Amen. Now, when you think about your morning routine, what do you think is good, like what would you describe as far as your best morning routine? And then is that part of your routine?
Okay, my morning routine starts with getting connected with God. So through devotional, so reading my Bible, worshiping and praying. I noticed that when I start my morning, really getting a good worship session and really spending time with God, then it's it gives me that my day really goes much better than when I don't. I feel more empowered and more connected.
Amen.
So that's very important, spending time with God.
Yes, to start off the morning. So if
Yes.
money was not an option, what do you think you would do to make a difference in the world?
What I'm doing now, coaching persons, helping them to heal their money blocks and to heal their insecurities.
Wow.
To reclaim their true self.
That sounds really good. Yes, to reclaim. Yeah.
Yeah, because when you reclaim your true self, then you're not going to be afraid of putting yourself out there. You're not going to be afraid of asking for what you want. You're not going to be afraid of falling in love. And a lot of the issues that we are struggling with, we're not going to struggle with them anymore.
That is so true. That is so true. Before we end the conversation here today, I just wanted to see if you can let the listeners know where they could find you. If they want to look you up, like with your blog post, your website, where can they find you?
Okay, the best place to find me is on Facebook, Eston Swaby. I'm always posting a lot of content on Facebook. I'm on Facebook every day. You can also check out my website, although it's under. I'm really working on my website now, so I think the best place to find me is on Facebook. Eston Swaby,
Facebook,
Instagram, yeah. Facebook
okay,
and Instagram, Eston Swaby.
Gotcha.
And you can always reach out to me at my DM.
Oh, wow. Okay. Eston, thank you so much for your time. I'm so glad we were able to get those connection issues resolved. This has really been good. I appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to the Healing Our Brokenness podcast, episode 97, an interview with Coach Eston Swaby. I also want to give a shout out to Timothy Horton for bringing our intro and outro music every week. And I want to ask you guys to do me a favor. If Healing Our Brokenness is making a difference in your life, if you can give a shout out to your friends to let them know to subscribe on Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and now I have it on YouTube where you can watch the videos. So everywhere else it's audios, but on YouTube we are doing videos now. So that is a huge blessing. Until next time.
I wish I could give back, but I'm not intact to be sharing all of that. You took the price to give me that life, and now it's never gonna fade away. When I see I need more of him, he whispers the sweetest of mercies upon my ears, and I won't go back the way it was again, and now a valley of grace where things would change. I've seen the lights